Do you have any magisterial arguments in support of theistic evolution? It seems like you've indicated several times today already that the magisterium at least indicates that theistic evolution is compatible with, and science is compatible with divine revelation on this subject. So, can you maybe talk to us about the magisterium on this?
Yeah. So there have, I guess, a good starting point. There are precedents, but a good starting point is the pontificate of Pius XII.
Mhm.
Now, thus far, in terms of evolution, we've been discussing biological evolution, which pertains to the creatures that we see here on Earth. But there's another kind of evolution that scientists also talk about, which is cosmological evolution, where you have, according to the standard account, the Big Bang occurring about 13.8 billion years ago, and then stars and galaxies formed from that, and planets formed, and that whole process is known sometimes as cosmological evolution. And then here on Earth, where we have life, you also have biological evolution happening. In terms of cosmological evolution, Pius XII was a big supporter of it. He gave in 1950 a couple of lectures in which he talked about it, and he was a huge fan of Big Bang cosmology. He was really impressed by the work of Father Georges Lemaitre, the Belgian priest who and cosmologist who came up with the idea of the Big Bang. And in his talks, Pius XII cites various scientific evidences for an old Earth. He cites findings from astronomy, things like the age of different star systems, the age of meteorites that have fallen to Earth, the age of the Earth's crust, and he notes that these are much older than a few thousand years. He, in his talks, speaks of the Earth being 5 billion years old, just the Earth, and the cosmos as being even older.
Mhm.
And so he was a big fan of an old Earth. Now, that is not a teaching that the Earth is old, because he's appealing to matters of science, so this is not a matter of doctrine. But it is an indication that the magisterium doesn't view cosmological evolution as something that's incompatible with the Christian faith. He also, in 1950, released an encyclical called Humanae Generis. And in Humanae Generis, he discusses a number of matters, and one of them is human evolution. And something a lot of people don't realize is he's only talking about human evolution
Mhm.
in Humanae Generis. He is not discussing the evolution of other life forms at all. And
Okay.
so he doesn't have a problem with the idea of biological evolution for other life forms, for lions and pine trees. Instead, what he says about human evolution is that Catholics can, cautiously entertain the hypothesis under certain restrictions, which we'll talk about.
Mhm.
But he says as long as these certain restrictions are maintained, it's possible for Catholics to entertain human biological evolution. And he has no problem, as I said, with other forms of biological evolution. It's just human evolution he's talking about. Subsequent to Pius XII, the magisterium has had further things to say, and in 1996, for example, John Paul II gave a speech to the Pontifical Academy of Sciences in which he noted the progress in the 46 years that had passed since Humanae Generis had come out, the scientific progress. And he said that scientifically we now have multiple lines of evidence that are not forged, that are not coerced, that were not cooked, that would support human biological evolution. And he then refers back to Pius XII and says, and my predecessor Pius XII already said there's no incompatibility here as long as you maintain certain restrictions.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this highlight clip. If you want to see the full interview, go to the description of this video and you'll see a link to the full thing. And by the way, hit the like button and the subscribe button. And if you want to support me at Reason and Theology, go to patreon.com/reason and theology. Thank you and God bless.